Well, if you've been banking on winning the big Powerball jackpot, you might have to wait a little while longer. And when they heard all that rain coming down last Wednesday morning, they knew they were in trouble again. The people who live in this neighborhood say nobody wants the Crusade house here. 2.5 years ago, 16-year-old Adrienne Reynolds was killed in one of the most horrific murders the Quad Cities has ever seen. But her name lives on through the Adrienne Reynolds Foundation. Normally, I stand here and warn you about the latest scam hitting the Quad Cities, but tonight I'm here to tell you about something that is not a scam. Those protesting the war and those protesting the protesters all converged on the nation's capital. There are 3 different transit systems that operate here, so taking the bus back and forth to work may not be easy for everyone. What makes flooding so dangerous is how fast it can happen. Yesterday, none of this water was here, but by 10:30 last night, it was coming up so fast, people who live here had no choice but to leave their cars and get out as fast as they could. A major accident on I-80 leaves traffic at a standstill for miles. We'll show you what happened. A fiery scene after terrorists target an airport in Scotland. And it's a graduation party these Galesburg graduates didn't get to go to the first time around. We'll take you there. News Channel 8 at 10 starts now.
News Channel 8 at 10.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Amy Barrilleaux in for Jason Fechner. We begin tonight with a major accident that shut down I-80. It happened around 1 o'clock this afternoon near the 35th Street overpass in LeClaire. Take a look at traffic headed to Illinois about 40 minutes after the crash. Cars still backed up for miles. It stayed that way most of the afternoon. Some people sat in their cars on the side of the interstate for more than an hour. WQAD News Channel 8's Christy Mergenthal has more on what caused all this gridlock. It's tonight's top story. So far, no word on the condition of those victims. Police have cited the driver for failure to maintain control of her car.
Go down like this.
British authorities are linking this fiery crash at Glasgow Airport in Scotland with 2 car bombs found in London. An SUV engulfed in flames rammed into the main terminal building this morning. According to witnesses, 2 men, one on fire, were inside the SUV. No one else was hurt. The attack comes one day after police in London found 2 cars packed with gasoline and nails. Meanwhile, security at U.S. airports is getting beefed up in the wake of that attack. Extra police are patrolling O'Hare International tonight. K-9 patrols have also been brought in. Security is tighter at Midway as well. 2.5 years ago, 16-year-old Adrienne Reynolds was killed in one of the most horrific murders the Quad Cities has ever seen. But her name lives on through the Adrienne Reynolds Foundation. Today, Adrienne's family held a simple car wash in the Blockbuster parking lot on Avenue of the Cities. It's one of several car washes the family has held with one mission: to help students at Black Hawk Outreach Center pay for their GEDs. Adrienne's family says they raised $1,100 today. Most of that money will go to Black Hawk. Some will also go to the Moline Family Christian Center. Galesburg High School's graduation was about a month ago, but today the city is finally celebrating. The school initially decided to deny diplomas to some students whose friends and family cheered for them during this graduation ceremony. That decision caused a lot of controversy and was eventually reversed, but some say Galesburg remained divided until now. WQAD News Channel 8's Pam Cunningham is live in the newsroom with more. All right, thanks, Pam. The parents who organized today's party say they got a lot of help from the community, who offered discount rates for the games, the food, and the DJ. Tomorrow, Illinois minimum wage workers will be getting a raise. Starting tomorrow, minimum wage will jump $1 to $7.50 an hour, and that's just the beginning. The state's minimum wage will increase by 25 cents a year for the next 3 years before settling at $8.25 an hour in 2010. Still no dry out in sight for the Central Plains. 10 inches of rain fell overnight in Kansas, sending rivers of water through this small town. More than 100 people are now homeless. It's the same story in parts of Texas and Oklahoma, where storms have dumped nearly 2 feet of rain since Tuesday. The unusually heavy rainfall is blamed for at least 11 deaths in Texas, and forecasters say the rain and potential for flooding could stick around for several more days. All right, thanks, Anthony. Well, it's hard to sing the blues on a cool and beautiful night like tonight, but some folks in Davenport are doing a pretty good job. The IH Mississippi Valley Blues Festival is packed with music fans tonight, and as usual, some pretty big acts are taking the stage. Watermelon Slim performed earlier tonight. On the bandshell stage, a blues harp blowout will blow away crowds in just about an hour. There are plenty of yellow ribbons tied to trees and signs all across the Quad Cities, but this weekend, some of those ribbons are finally coming down.
Woo! Long time coming!
Sergeant Matthew Baker's Anton Moline put up 2 yellow ribbons when he was deployed to Afghanistan a couple of years ago. Today he is home on leave and cut down the ribbons in person with the help of a few friends. Matthew brought home a few buddies from the Army to help celebrate his happy homecoming. Matthew's buddies are from all over the country. They're all traveling from hometown to hometown during their leave from Afghanistan. Well, if you've been banking on winning the big Powerball jackpot, you might have to wait a little while longer. A couple from Oklahoma won the $105 million jackpot this weekend. Don and Joyce Harvey say they've dreamed about this moment for years. Don is a truck driver. His wife of 20 years is his dispatcher. Although they now have more than enough money, they insist retirement is not an option.
I've got to have something to do.
And it might all be just the beginning. The Harveys say they'll keep playing the lottery because they've always considered themselves lucky people. Still ahead on News Channel 8 at 10, roadside bombs in Iraq are getting more sophisticated and more dangerous. See how the military is trying to stay ahead of the insurgents. A Midwestern flag display is all about history this 4th of July, and it's hard to imagine anyone doing this voluntarily, but they are, and it looks like it hurts. Find out exactly why this contest is happening. Then still ahead on Live Local 8 Breaking News Channel 8 at 10. Imagine taking your child to the doctor only to have him turned away because he has state health insurance. One Kewanee pediatrician tells us it's happening to kids all over the state, including one little boy from Bureau County. He almost lost his hearing because some doctors aren't taking all kids. 8-year-old James Davis is trying not to think too much about his upcoming surgery, a surgery that's the only way to save the hearing in his right ear. He has a hole in his eardrum that's not healing on its own.
They're gonna cut it right in the back.
There's times that I just break down and just cry.
James's mom says getting him scheduled for surgery has been a battle.
That was a big no.
For her and her son's pediatrician.
These are names the state gave me that are supposed to be accepting.
Dr. Holly May spent 9 hours on the phone trying to find a specialist who would operate on James.
I'm wondering if Dr. is accepting medical assistance or all kids program.
What she got was rejection after rejection because James is on the all kids program.
All right, thanks much. Bye. That was another big no. The response of the specialist was basically, we'd love to help you, but we are not seeing kids on the All Kids program.
Dr. Mays says the state simply isn't paying specialists enough to cover the cost of caring for All Kids patients, and sometimes doesn't pay at all.
They provide the service, they do the surgery, they send in the bill, and then the state denies it or ignores it or just takes so long to pay them that they can't keep doing it.
After all the publicity and the governor's election year push to get kids signed with the program, Dr. Mays insists it's letting those kids down.
Because people out there think, oh, these kids are getting health care and they're getting what they need, and they're not.
After calling specialists all over the state, she finally found one 4 hours away in Chicago. His mom says it's a haul, but she's grateful someone will finally give him the help he needs.
If she wasn't there fighting for us, we wouldn't have found one.
I'll be able to hear.
No area specialists would talk to us on camera, but at least one office did confirm they are turning away all kids patients because they've had so many problems getting payment from the state. Amy Barrilleaux, 8 on your side.